Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and today we're going to look at the Monday market report for the week ending June 20th, 2021. So, how is the modern coin market doing? Well, we're about ready to find out. I can tell you this right now, just looking at a general kind of observation of what we have going on this week. I could honestly say it feels like that there's no summer lull. There really isn't. I mean, we're witnessing just some pretty incredible prices on a lot of, I would say, modern coins and a lot more older stuff. But as you guys know, this Monday market report really just only highlights some of the post 1900 modern coins that are most relevant in the marketplace. This week, we're going to look at all of the great collections listings that really raised an eyebrow amongst the coin community. There are a few coins that especially have gained a lot of attention just because of a certain factor, for a few certain factors, beautiful toning, modern date, low population type coins. You're going to see it all on this report. So, what I had mentioned was that the market seems to be in a really healthy place right now. While a lot of other collectibles have been flatlining or dropping, like sports cards and comic books and a few of the other known collectibles that really got hot over this pandemic era that we lived in, coins and precious metals have been, just consistently performing at a top level, while everything else has been dropping by the wayside. So what's really causing that? Well, there is some desire to own physical PMs in light of or in lieu of some of the things that people are making money off of. Recently, like the crypto market has generated a ton of wealth for a lot of people. So the best way that they can, other than buying some of those other collectibles I had talked about, coins and currency and precious metals have been the strongest target. And I don't know when we'll see a slowdown. Usually summertime you do see that, but I don't know this year. It might be similar to last year and the year before, where we've seen some overperforming June to August months, like we've ever seen before. So go ahead and strap on your seatbelts, grab a cup of coffee if you guys are checking this out first thing Monday morning. It is Sunday night, so I figured I'd throw you guys a bone and show you the good stuff. And let's go ahead and get ready to embark on our first coin. So as always, there are going to be a number of coins that I would say are not quite investable, but they're made for specific types of collections, and that would be registry sets that are hosted by either PCGS or NGC. So I will specify as we go and talk about each coin whether or not it's a registry set acquisition for that buyer, or if it's something that you definitely need to keep an eye out on in terms of collectability and investability. All right, so that's kind of like two different things. And again, like I said, you don't invest in coins like this 1950-70. It's way too common. It's a top pop grade, even though it's NGC slabbed as a Mint State 67 plus full red. These are very desired amongst Lincoln Cent registry participants. And because of that, you'll have generally really strong sales. There are a number of dates within the 1950s that just seems to be a lot more tougher to find. Okay, the rarity factor is through the roof for coins like the 57D. This one, for example, sold for $1,306.25. The next one that we have here is just a coin that people want. All right, people want not only for their collection, when a high graded example, anything above like Mint State 62 and up, certainly, there are going to be pretty large audiences for coins like this, only because the quality is a lot better, than some of the AU Browns and things of that nature, which are completely fine. Those are very collectible and quite valuable in their own right. This will be a coin. It really doesn't matter the condition or color. These are coins that are going to continuously perform, at the strongest levels for years to come. As more people go into the hobby, you're going to see a lot more desirability for, the 55 double die offers that you see here. This is a coin that most people know about, even if they've never opened up like a Red Book price guide. It's strange. Between the 55 double die and the 3070 Buffalo nickel with the 3 legs, they're two of the most iconic, kind of like off-the-market type of coins that regular Joe Schmoes and, Jane Schmoes know about. It's pretty crazy. But this example that we have here is indeed a Mint-State 64 of red through PCGS. As you can see, I mean, the doubling is just wild. You're not going to find one stronger on any other coin from especially U.S. type. This one right here sold for $9,871.88. Let's just say $10,000 by the time you figure in tax and shipping. It's worth every penny. And, don't be surprised that in 5-10 years you see coins like this exceed $12,500 to $15,000 because the desirability is just going to continue to be there for years to come. Definitely a safe, investable coin. Getting back to what I would say is another registry set example is a 1954. So this is one of those tougher dates. Any 1950 to 1955 Philadelphia Lincoln Wheat cent in grades like this, like a 67 or 67 plus, are generally needed for those registry sets, and seldom do they come up at auction. But here you go. Here's one right here. This example sold for $1,935.51. And it's been a few weeks since we talked about a Lincoln Steel cent, but here you go. Here's the 1943D. This is a Denver minted example. As you guys know, this is a very special one-shot year. The U.S. Mint, and specifically the government, had kind of held on to the copper and nickel metals during that day for the war effort. So they had to change it up with something else. So they did a one-year type zinc-coated steel composition. And it's won over the hearts of a lot of collectors, whether they're high-end collectors or low-end collectors. There seems to be a lot of want for these coins, and especially in the highest grade levels, like a 68 or a 68 plus, which I believe is the top pop for all three of the coins, the P, D, and S. This one right here, really beautiful. Again, strong seller. Sold for $3,712.50. All right, we have a couple spicy inclusions to the mix. Here's how about a 1935P Lincoln Wheat cent. All right, this thing is a beauty. And the grade is sky high. It's a Mint-State 68 full red through PCGS. You'd be hard-pressed to find anything nicer. And I think because of its status as being a very, very well-desired coin on the registry set scene, you rest assured, there would be a lot of points going your way if you're able to obtain this and add it to your registry. Again, the registry is just for bragging rights, but you'd be surprised how much money flows through the registry set system. Sometimes it's just a laugher, because again, like I said, there are coins that are just not investable. Those 1950s coins, I guarantee you the next coin that grades out at a 67 plus will erode the value of all the other subsequent examples of the same grade. So that's why I say they're not investable. But people just love getting into the registry set game, and usually these are deep pockets people. Yeah, the 35, by the way, sold for $5,850, but our big penny of the week is going to be this 1910S. What if I told you this coin sold for more than some of the key dates in the series, specifically like the 1909S, VDB, the 1922 Plain, the 14D, you guessed that right. There are just some coins with a very low survival rate in full red. Now, this grade is an absolute juggernaut. Mid-State 67 red. Not too bad considering it's a coin that's 111 years old. People were paying really close attention to the 1909 date, being that it's the first date of the Lincoln cent design. But 1910 rolls around, it's like, okay, we've had enough. We're just going to let these puppies circulate. So there wasn't a whole lot of people that, had held on to these at the highest grade level. But this one right here is an absolute stunner. And because of that, obviously, it's going to fill the need of a registry set. But I would be happy to say that this would also be a very investable coin, too, for someone that's looking to add to their portfolio and their holdings. This one sold for $11,812.50. Yeah, I told you it was going to be more than some of the key dates in like similar grades, like a 65, 1909S. Won't even hold a candle to this 1910. This thing is just amazing. All right, we do have a few nickels. The first one is going to be our main talking point coin of the video. It's a 1966 Jefferson nickel, and I'm going to go on record saying that this is not the special mint set type, which makes this one a whole heck of a lot more difficult to find. That's going to be well struck. Okay, so this one, as you can see from the stats on the screen, is a PCGS Mint State 65 full stepper. Incredibly tough, so much so that there are only 11 known examples of this particular date, which, by the way, there were over 155 million or 156 million 1966 Jefferson Nickels that were produced by the Mint, the Philadelphia Mint, at the time. But only 11 known examples of this particular date with full steps. All right, so it does measure up on the rarity factor, similar to other coins like, the 69D, 69S, 68D, 68S. Those are 4 other coins that I would say rival this particular example. And, Mint State 65 is not kind of like an incredible knock your socks off type grade. It's about what you would expect for some of these Mint State nickels at release. But this one, because of its strike designation, makes it a whole lot more incredible. All right. So as you guys know, this one sold for nearly $7,600. A few other things. It's a Pop 5 in a 65. There is only one coin finder, and that's a single solitary Mid-State 66 that's holed up in some collection out there. So you can only imagine how much that coin is worth. Probably 3 to 4 times the value of what this one sold for. So again, it sold for $7,593.75. This is quite a shocker in this video. All right, so just like last week, we have another 1939 Jefferson nickel. Okay, this one, of course, is the doubled Monte version. As you can see, it's got doubled Monticello and 5 cents on the reverse. Just a very, very desirable variety on its own. They don't come up with full steps. They really don't. But this one is beautiful. This one right here sold for $2,669.62. Just a really, really magnificent variety. And if you were looking to jump into Jefferson Nickels, this one will probably be standing in your way of must-have coins. All right, Buffalo Nickels. I think this is where the bulk of like the most active bidding is occurring, is within the Buffalo Nickel series. There are, oh gosh, this week I would say, and I'm only talking about a few of them. I have like 4 or 3. I have 3 Buffalo Nickels on the list, but I could have filled it up with probably a good solid 10, 12, because there were at least that many that sold for at least $1,000. But I didn't want to water down and dilute the Monday Market Report with all Buffalo Nickels, because we all understand it's one of the most important series for collectors, in that it is truly a magnificent and very, very popular design to collectors. I mean, Uh, it just is what it is. But this one right here is a beauty. It's a stunner. Original coloring all around. Even has some of the pinks on the reverse, which is, it's in the league all its own. This one right here is also an RPM, so it's a D over D mint mark. There are also over mint marks that are D over S's. So there's quite a bit of variety. A lot of 1938 Ds were held onto because it is the last date of this particular design, and people did love this during its day. This one right here is an NGC Mint State 68 star, and the star denotes the tremendous eye appeal with that toning. So I'm happy to say that this one sold for $3,937.50. Yeah, just really beautiful. Here's a 1937. This is a Philadelphia Struck. I consider these to be vanilla. Okay, and what I mean by that is many millions of them were made. This is probably one of the most plentiful dates, along with 1936. It's just a straight up cup of vanilla ice cream. It's blast white. There's no toning. More than likely, this one was in a BU roll or something of that caliber. This one is a Mint State 68. So it's 2 points away from perfection. I mean, it looks good. I don't see anything distracting about it that would lead me to believe that it would grade any lower. It is graded through NGC. All right, so some would say that PCGS is a little bit more strict on the grading of these things, especially for the more common dates. But this one right here, it's hard to argue. Just the overall lustrous nature of the coin and just the presentability of such a coin. This one right here sold for $2,306.25. And this is the big Buffalo nickel of the week. It's a 1917S. So it does certainly kind of frame itself within the decade and the branch mint that you would expect for a high grade rarity. All right, and as a result, this is a really pricey coin. This is quite a bit lower mintage than some of the other coins around it, the Phillies, the 20s. The 1930s, of course, which is the most plentiful of dates. And this one right here is sold for $18,789.75. You could make the argument it could be a registry set coin if you wanted it to be, but more than likely, this is a coin that is based off of the need of it being added to their respective collection or investment portfolio. And we do have one more nickel on the list. We don't talk about Liberty Head nickels quite that often. All right, it's a series that has its supporters and its fans, and of course there are just a wider audience of other people that aren't too crazy about it for whatever reason. And I think the series is very overshadowed. If not for the Buffalo Nickel series, I think there would be a lot more love for this particular set. Now, this one right here is, of course, the first date of nickel to feature a physical mint mark. And it's a 1912S. You can see the S mint mark on the reverse next to this little old dot. Now, of course, this is like a key date for the series. Between this and 1885, which is also another tough one. This is a coin that you want if you are highly interested in owning one of the first nickels with a mint mark. This one is a nice grade too. It's a Mint State 66, CAC backed as well. You can see that little green sticker there. And this is also part of the Neon Lights collection. There are actually a number of coins on the list that we're going to talk about today that are from that collection specifically that were sold. And this one sold for, well, the Buffalo Nickel before it was nice, but this one right here sold for $14,063.62. All right, dimes were a little bit light this week. So we did have a few here. A 1942S with full split bands, and it did grade out Mint State 67 plus. I think where all the concessions are made on this one is its toning. Although it's a little bit light, it does exhibit a really nice light gunmetal look along with some blues. And then on the reverse, you have nice spatterings of russet browns and yellows and a little bit of moss green. All right, so it's got quite a bit going for it. I think the photography is excellent by Great Collections on this one. It was able to portray the overall look and appearance of this coin as you would expect, once it's in your hands. Just a really nice grade. It's not particularly rare, even in this grade. I've seen some better graded 42Ss, but again, finding one that is suitable for a registry set or for your collection can be a little tough. Maybe half a dozen of these are available per year. And any San Francisco minted full bands coin can be a little bit tough to locate. This one right here sold for $1,098, which compared to the previous coins we talked about seems like a bargain. All right, so this is a much better presented toning job on this coin here. It's a 1940 Philadelphia Mercury Dime. This one is tremendous. It's a Mint State 68 full bands, full split bands. Very nice. It's got quite a nice sharp strike on the reverse. Philadelphia, of course, and it's also CAC certified. This one is also a Neon Lights Collection provenance piece. And yeah, with all things considering, this was a coin that was engaged through a number of active bidders, and it got it up to, $4,894.88, which is a good deal of money for this coin, especially given that it's a widely available date, especially in mint state condition, and the full bands. That you'd have a much harder time finding one without full bands. So these are generally well struck. And the final dime of the group is going to be this 1928. Now, it's not a Denver or San Francisco or anything like that, but that's okay. This one right here is a very, very nice coin with a lot of original era-specific toning. This one is a Mint State 67 plus full bands, also CAC certified. And this one also here is a Neon Lights Collection piece as well. Sold for $5,625. Just a beautiful example. And, Denver and San Francisco minted 1928s, sell for many, many multipliers of this coin in the same grade and same strike designation. Now, the quarters that are highlighted to end the video are lights out. I mean, first of all, the 3 dates that we have represented in the quarters section of this video are not rare at all. That's the tricky thing to try and understand. It's like, oh, we're looking at a 1962D Washington quarter. I must have 1 million of these. I guarantee you probably have a few of them that are mint state, probably have a little bit of toning. So at first glance, it doesn't appear to be a rare coin, which will trip up most people. But believe it or not, the Denver minted silver quarters of the 1960s are some of the most rarest to find. That's not all beat up or have tremendous planchet nicks. But generally, the ones that do look the best will have toning. Whether it could be the best toning that you've ever seen on a coin, or it could be one that just, looks like dog meat. So, this one right here is not my personal favorite. I think a lot of the toning on the obverse is muddled to the point where it's unattractive for me. But I think because of the grade, this is going to be a registry set coin for years to come. So it's more likely going to end up from one registry set to another to another. But, you can't really argue with the quality of this coin. It's a Mint State 67 plus, CAC certified, and get this, it sold for $6,242.61. And it's also worth noting it's part of the Neon Lights collection, which are generally known for being quite beautiful toning. And we do have 2 more Neon Light collection coins. A 55D, a little bit tougher date. I think the toning is quite unique, especially on the obverse with that kind of wood grain, red, a little bit of green and yellow in there. Just beautiful. I think the reverse I'm least thrilled about. I think because of its grade, this one definitely got a lot of attention on it. And it's an auto include into any high-end registry set of Washington quarters. The 55s are some of the toughest to find. And we have the Denver. This one right here is a Mid-State 67 Plus star. All right, so not only is it a plus designation, which kind of makes it like a 67.5, but it's also a eye-appealing star with CAC certified. So it's got a lot of things going for it. And because of that, it's sold for $6,187.50. And the final one to kind of like pay attention to is another 55, but this is the Philadelphia struck one. This is the rarest 1950s quarter to find in any grade above 67. Good luck with that. This one right here is a 67 plus. I believe it is the top grade for the state. Again, it's a very tough date to find high quality specimens, kind of like the 60s Denvers. This one is also CAC certified, and the toning, you can take it for what it is. You either love it or you hate it. I'm more of the latter. I'm not a particular fan of like the dark, kind of like splattery, watercolor appearance. I think it looks muddled in my opinion, but there are people that love any sort of toning because it denotes originality. The coin was never messed around with. It was never dipped. Nothing. This is all original to the period in which these were made. Again, another Neon Lights collection piece, and this one sold for $6,469.88. So nearly $6,500, all in just this one 1955 Washington quarter. But the grade is what got it there. All right, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it. I would love to hear your thoughts on this week's Monday Market Report. Did you have a favorite? All right, I would love to hear that. If you did, why? You could always check out greatcollections.com and go ahead and peruse not only the upcoming auctions coming up, because they do it every week. You can even see previews all the way out like 4 weeks. But you can also take a look at other sold listings. I mean, there are coins that sold for as little as like $10, $20, and they go up to many tens of thousands of dollars, especially in the much older coins. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit that good old bell for instant notifications. And as always, Coinaholics, we are discovering together. I want to thank you guys for not only your support, but also for your views as well. You guys take care. Have a wonderful Monday. All right, don't work so hard, and enjoy. I'll see you guys later.